Don't have enough glutathione, you're done. Glutathione is known as the master antioxidant. Most people make enough glutathione.
The body naturally produces glutathione, also referred to as the master antioxidant, which is a crucial chemical that aids in detoxification, immune system support, and cell defense against oxidative stress. Prominent toxicologist Dr. Ivonne Burkhart outlines easy lifestyle adjustments, a powerful beverage, and common foods that can increase the body's natural synthesis of glutathione, enabling people to fortify their health and resistance against chronic illnesses like cancer.
Glutathione, it's very simple. It's 3 amino acids. We all have it in our bodies. The highest levels are found in the liver and kidney, which are the detoxification organs that we have. And the third would be our reproductive organs. Interestingly enough, that's how important this molecule is in protecting us. It protects not only just life, but also being able to reproduce. Modern lifestyles are resulting in depletion of glutathione. Our glutathione is being robbed. We have built-in detoxification. However, with that said, those detox pathways are definitely getting burdened in a lot of people, overtaxed to the point where there's excess that the body cannot deal with. In those cases, increased risk of diseases like cancer, reproductive issues like infertility, PCOS, endometriosis. With all of these extra exposures that our body can't handle, we need to increase our capacity to detoxify. So what does that mean? We have built-in detoxification like glutathione. Glutathione is known as the master antioxidant. Our livers and kidneys make glutathione. Glutathione molecules detoxify heavy metals, they detoxify free radicals, chemicals that we're exposed to, increasing our ability to make more glutathione through diet and lifestyle. Most people hear glutathione and they think, I should supplement. Most people make enough glutathione. It's just that our lifestyle robs our cells of the glutathione that we have, but you can increase the amount that you make through your diet and lifestyles.
The 5 sections of this movie are designed to help you live a longer, healthier life. We'll look at what to avoid in order to increase your body's natural synthesis of glutathione.
The first thing is toxic avoidance. Non-stick cookware, the heavily fragranced products, eating ultra-processed foods, not exercising. So being stagnant, not moving enough, all of that reduces your glutathione. Not sleeping well. Alcohol absolutely depletes glutathione. So avoiding the cigarettes, minimizing alcohol consumption. Our bodies can also recycle glutathione. So I don't want people to think that, I just got to get more. I got to get more. Well, you already have some, and you have ways to recycle glutathione too. So as long as you're not adding more toxins to your body, then that recycling system is functioning optimally. That's what we want. We don't always need to add more. And I think that's the trap that a lot of people fall into is let me just grab that glutathione supplement and I'm good to go. Well, you're not addressing the root cause. The root cause is your lifestyle and your diet.
The following step is equally as critical as avoiding these pollutants. Modifying your way of life to encourage and improve glutathione, the master antioxidant synthesis.
Number 1, you can exercise. Exercise increases glutathione. It's very simple. Just exercise, move your body. Exercise is a huge driver of glutathione. So initially when you exercise, there's actually a small period of oxidative stress that happens. But this is an adaptive response. This is to stimulate glutathione. So there's a little bit of oxidation that happens, but it's a good thing. And I don't think we necessarily need to turn that off by pumping in a bunch of glutathione. I think what we need to do is just allow the body to do what it needs to do, which is make more glutathione. And that can be after weight training as well as aerobic exercise. Aerobic and strength training. So aerobic and weight-bearing exercise have been shown to increase glutathione production in people. Basically, if you induce sweating, then you're increasing your capacity to detoxify environmental chemicals. There was a series of studies conducted by one group that showed increased amount of excretion through the sweat of heavy metals, persistent organic pollutants like PCBs, as well as organophosphate pesticides, plasticizer chemicals, BPA, phthalates. So a lot of these chemicals that we've been speaking about today can be excreted through sweat. So even just get moving, get sweating as much as you can. I think that's the key takeaway here. Stress management is key. That's one that's going to affect your overall health, but it also has effects rooted with glutathione as well. Adequate sleep.
The significance of drinking water is then discussed by Dr. Ivonne Burkhart. However, she also mentioned a beverage that can improve your glutathione production even more. Be sure to stay hydrated. By assisting the liver's detoxification processes, eliminating toxins, and lessening the strain on this vital antioxidant, drinking lots of water promotes the creation of glutathione. Maintaining adequate hydration promotes optimal cell function and facilitates the metabolic activities required for glutathione formation. Staying hydrated is a straightforward yet effective step toward improved health, since it lowers oxidative stress and encourages effective waste disposal, which preserves and increases the body's natural glutathione levels. She then talks about matcha, or green tea, as a nutritious substitute beverage.
You want to look for matcha that's been tested. Because you're consuming the entire leaf, it's important to look for the cleanest matcha you can get. But there are so many benefits to matcha. Like the fact that it helps you increase glutathione is, I'm sold. But we also want to avoid not adding dairy to a matcha. I know that a lot of people like to drink matcha lattes, but there's actually studies showing that the casein protein can decrease the absorption of some of the beneficial compounds in matcha. So if you can drink it, the traditional way in Japan is just water. No sugar, nothing. Just matcha and water. Glutathione is made out of 3 amino acids: glutamate, cysteine, and glycine. Cysteine contains sulfur. If you have enough sulfur in your body, you can make glutathione. Sulfur-rich foods, because glutathione contains cysteine, which contains sulfur. And sulfur is the part of the glutathione molecule that's doing the work, that's protecting us. So the more sulfur you can give your body, the more building blocks it has to make glutathione. So what foods are rich in sulfur? Meat, eggs, dairy products, sulfur-rich vegetables like cruciferous vegetables, broccoli, cauliflower, broccoli sprouts have a high amount of sulforaphane. This is a very rich source of sulfur. Broccoli sprouts, you can actually increase the amount of sulforaphane in your broccoli if you add some mustard seed on top. That will increase the amount of sulforaphane. But also what I learned is that broccoli that's been previously frozen will not have the same level of sulforaphane because of the enzyme that's required to create it. Actually gets denatured when you freeze the broccoli. So fresh broccoli, cauliflower, cabbage, the really sulfury vegetables, leafy greens that you hear about, garlic, onions. There's even some studies showing that if you consume whey protein, it can help to increase glutathione by supplying the amino acids needed to produce it. Matcha green tea is also a really good source of glutathione building blocks. Lots of different ways to increase glutathione through the diet. Eating an unprocessed diet as much as you possibly can. Whole foods, single ingredient foods.
Single ingredient foods and whole foods. The greatest way to increase glutathione production is through complete, fresh foods. But what about glutathione supplements? This is some professional advice from Dr. Ivonne Burkhart.
Liposomal glutathione, that is glutathione in whole form, but it's encapsulated in a liposome or a type of fat so that it can increase the absorption, because our bodies cannot absorb whole glutathione. Our cells need special transporters to actually bring glutathione into the cell where it can be active. It's ineffective, it's inefficient. So supplementing with whole glutathione outside of liposomal form doesn't work. Other ways can be N-Acetylcysteine, which is a precursor to glutathione. But given that some people have a genetic predisposition to having lower enzymatic activity to make glutathione, reduced capacity to make glutathione, then providing the NAC precursor won't really help either. So that's why it's individualized, because if you don't have the genetic predisposition to having reduced glutathione capacity, then the NAC would work, maybe. But if it's kind of a toss-up. That's why it's so highly individualized, because the genetic polymorphism can be up to 25% of the population.